Deion Sanders' latest idea brings level of intrigue that spring period lacks. Deion Sanders isn't shy, never has been. He says what he means, and he means what he says. This forces us to make decisions about accepting his word, or not, almost as soon as the words leave his mouth. When Sanders said he planned to be in Boulder, Colorado, many of us questioned that, too. We questioned such a statement because he'd only coached at the major college football level for 2 years, and he'd flipped a program that won just 2 games the year before his arrival into one that won 9, finished atop the Big 12 standings and boasted the Heisman Memorial Trophy winner just last year. We questioned such a statement because this will be the first year that he hasn't coached his sons, and in an era of college football that is almost exclusively marked not by tradition, but by change. But we sometimes fail to remember that Sanders has been one of the architects of that change. He brought new attention to an already popular sport with a program that lacked an identity until he cloaked it in his own. He's perhaps the only FBS coach in the country who looks comfortable in a cowboy hat and sunglasses indoors. Leave it to Coach Prime to inject not just excitement, but perhaps a tonic to the morose spring off-season where more news has been made by name-brand programs choosing to forego the tradition of playing a spring football game for fans or a glorified Fan Appreciation Day with a nod toward why we watch the sport. I would like to actually play the spring game against another team in the spring, Sanders said on Monday. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Any takers? As a matter of fact, yes. Mere hours after Prime made his declaration, Syracuse coach Fran Brown sent a tweet, tagging Sanders, "We will come to Boulder for 3 days." And just like that, we've got the makings of not just a good idea, but the kind that can bring fans, all of us, back to stadiums at least once this season. Prime said he wanted to play a spring game against another opponent for a few reasons, but one seems to be more important than the others, to fill up the stadium. One of the mitigating factors to televising spring games, television being that invention from which money flows, is that it's not a great TV product. Turns out people like to see people, lots of people, at stadiums during sporting events. A sellout crowd is easier to sell. Playing against another opponent, even in an intramural setting, brings a level of intrigue that the spring period lacks. Stacking up against an opponent who is as good as you feels exactly like the game fans want to see and exactly like the game Matt Rule would avoid at all cost. The risk of injury skyrockets. If seasons of HBO's hit show Hard Knocks are to be believed, so is the risk of fights breaking out. But the reward might be too great to resist.